Why is nobody talking about this? Prosperity. Is it your divine right? Yes, it is. Welcome to Head On with Michael. Appreciate everybody who's coming in now, and who'll be coming in days, years, decades, centuries from now. Tonight, we're going to be talking with Het-Heru on our Wednesday night broadcast. We're going to be talking about prosperity. And I think a lot of people are like wondering, where's my prosperity gone and how to get it back. So we're going to find some answers here. Just to do my little bid here. Um, Het-Heru has a uh, prosperity oil, and I'm actually using it. It's my favorite one because I need all the prosperity I can get, and it's on sale at hetheru.com. It's I have a discount, so take advantage of that. So, with that said, let's take that out and let's bring the woman of the day. Oh, I said woman. Oh my gosh, I said woman.
I
Sorry, I'm
like that.
old.
I have no issue with that. I have no issue with it. I am a woman, so I have no issue with that. Young people can do what they do, but I'm cool with woman.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, how are we going to change? We've been calling ourselves that since before we were born.
Yeah, you know, things are cyclical. So right now they're doing that, and who knows? Within the next few years, they'll come back to where what we say. So, anywho, I know it works for me.
Yes, I know I didn't want me to get on that immediately here, but I knew I was going to say that. And I was going to get on there. Okay. And we know that that's been,
Yeah.
I think there's the one, if I could just name it before we go into this, that's the one
Hmm.
controversy that I have with all of this. Do your thing. Okay. Do your thing. You
Yeah.
want to be an artist and express yourself in all kinds of different ways by calling yourself different things, that's fine. Okay, on Halloween, I used to think I was Superman. Okay, I'm walking around. Good thing I didn't jump off a building.
Thank God.
We wouldn't be here.
Like
So,
kids do, huh?
yeah. So anyway, yeah, we're in the tough times here. Inflation went up another half a point, and people are spending more money to go out. We're hearing about the food bills so much more higher for a family with two kids. And so prosperity is something it's been on the line for people. I mean, really. Oh, you got a hello from Tracy.
Ah, hi, Tracy. Hi.
Yeah, she's actually
Just,
working. So I'm glad she's in here. So prosperity is something that I think most of us have figured out how to keep or get. And I want to just go to your website here real quick and read this here. Where is it? Connect to your sacred, prosperous self with this prosperity oil, fresh scent of frankincense, myrrh. How do you say that? Bergamot?
Bergamot.
Bergamot. I'm getting better. And citrus 20. And she also put some gold in there, ladies and gentlemen. I know I have one because I've seen it. I'm going to spin it as soon as I finish. Uh, but I want to make sure, people, if you want to understand what prosperity actually kind of starts from smell, I totally recommend this oil. And so here we are, Heather. It's a perfect subject matter when I called you and asked you about what you want to talk about. So, especially with everything that's going on with, high inflation and everything. So, I'm going to give you the floor and let you do your thing.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I always ask my ancestral guides, my the spiritual guides, whom I call the ancestors. I always ask, well, what do you want me to talk about this week? Something that would help everyone. And as Michael was saying, it's a difficult time, but it's always a difficult time. I mean, I've been on planet Earth almost 73 years, and I don't know a time that it wasn't difficult in different ways. We've always had wars in the time I've been here. We've always had inflation. We've had recessions. We've had, not in the time I was here, depression. That was before my time. But we always seem to rally behind this. I want to talk about prosperity because we're at that time of the year where there's a lot of emphasis on spending money, actually. And I've had to do some researching about prosperity. I remember when the idea of this oil first came to me, when the ancestors first channeled that to me. I looked it up, what the word prosperity meant, and at that time, and it was maybe 16 years ago, the definition was to prosper and grow. So I thought, well, let me check this out again. So I went back to Webster, and instead of saying, they changed it. Instead of saying to prosper and grow, now they have the condition of being successful or thriving. And sure, that's also true. But don't we all know of people? We don't know people, but we all know of people who've had lots of money, but they've had issues with their health or issues with their relationships or their mental state or whatever. So it isn't all about money. It's about your well-being. The ancestors gave me this oil because it's not one of the chakra oils. Okay, most of the oils that have been channeled to me are designed to balance the chakra centers. Instead, this one is based on the law of attraction. In other words, wherever thought goes, energy follows. So if you are focusing on lack and limitation, guess what your experience is going to be? There's something called the herd mind. That's, the multitudes of, way people are thinking and acting and doing. And then there's the others. There's the ones that have studied the esoteric sciences, studied science in general, and have come up with a different understanding, or what I call understanding, of how we operate in this world. We have an option. We can either be like the masses and choose to experience lack and limitation, or we can work with the law of attraction in a way that we want to attract what we do want, not what we don't want. Again, if we're focusing on lack and limitation, if we're focusing on what's going on in the world or what appears to be, then the universe is going to honor that, because it doesn't make a differentiation. It hears what we're thinking, what we're accepting, and it acts on that. I've given the example often about just finding a parking space. If you go into an area with the attitude how difficult it's going to be for you to find a parking space, then that's going to be your experience, because wherever thought goes, energy follows. The ancient Hawaiians had a belief system that I learned about a number of years ago when I was taking a course. Helen Bangs, who had a course called Mind Cybiotics. It was a fascinating course and very informative, and it was rooted on the books of The Science of Being by Max Freedom Long. He was an educator who went to Hawaii with the intention of helping these poor folks that they weren't as smart as he was, because he's an educator, he's an academic. He's going to go there and he's going to help them. Boy, was he surprised when he noticed that these people could stand at the edge of the beach and literally call the fish in. Not using nets or what, they would call the fish in. They had that ability. And so he wondered, how are they able to do this? So finally it came to him in a dream. And the dream was that they were able to do this because of the power. They understood the power of the spoken word, that they called forth what they wanted and what they didn't want. Through his studies with them, he learned and shared that these ancient Hawaiians, the kahunas, believed that, and in fact, by the way, the kahunas, these priests of the ancient times of Hawaii, went into the mountains to get away from the European who was coming, and they knew that they would make a difference in the traditions of that time of the Hawaiians. So they went into the mountains and maintained their traditions. They believed that we have three selves. We have a high self, a middle self, and a low self. They believed that the low self was of an animal in nature, and that we all looked like and had the mannerisms of animals, and that the middle self, and also that was the conscious mind. It was the selective, the choosing mind. The middle self was what we call the subconscious mind. It is that part of us that when the energy, whatever thought goes, what we accept, what we embrace, what we bring in, the low self brings it to us. That's the gig, that's the role of the low self. And then the high self, was that part of the mind that was connected to the high self, to the higher mind, to the divine mind. And that's why they say that it is our divine right, when we're operating from this higher sense, then our experiences reflect that greater sense of who and whose we are. So each one of us, that was a part of the class, we were to decide what we were, our subconscious mind, what animal it was. She told her story. Mine isn't as interesting, but her story was interesting. She had issues, severe issues. I think it was with asthma or I think it was asthma. It's been a number of years that I took it. And she was she's, I don't know if she's still with us or not, but she was a good metaphysician. She knew how to manifest what she wanted, but she couldn't seem to get rid of this health issue. And so she went into this meditation. She asked low self to present itself to her. And she saw this big cat coming across the screen. She said, "Get out of here," because she deplored cats. She did not like cats. And so she meditated on it again. She called forth this low self. And once again, this cat came across. And she finally realized that that was her low self. It was a cat. And that the cat was reflecting. She did not like cats. She hated cats. And that this condition, this lacking in health condition, reflected when you had a deep sense of not loving yourself, of, I won't say hatred, but just not appreciating and honoring yourself. And she worked with that and was able to get rid of her health issue. So saying all that to say, to prosper, to thrive, to succeed, we are succeeding when we're able to create a lifestyle that's full of promise, that's full of hope, that's full of faith and joy. I was talking to you a couple of weeks ago about the power of staying in joy. If we are looking out at the world and the world is saying, well, you can't have this, and the world is doing that, and that's been taken away from you, and et cetera, and that's what we accept as our reality, that is the experience we're going to have. But we have a choice. We can choose to accept who and whose we are. And it's something that we practice on a daily routine, because the world is going to constantly give you reasons why you should not accept that. Again, I've shared with you, I begin my day affirming who and whose I am, and who I'm connected with. This is the day I say, this is my saying, you say whatever works for you. This is the day that God has made, and I shall rejoice and be glad in it. And then I proceed to thank this universal presence for all of the abundance in my life. That's an important tool. To be in the spirit of thanksgiving. Even when things are going not so good for you, choose to be in the spirit of thanksgiving, because wherever thought goes, energy follows. It is a universal law, just as the law of gravity. Michael was talking about that. Any of us, it doesn't matter our birth sign or our degrees that we have, or our state of intelligence. All of us, if we go on top of a roof of a building and jump off, we're going to hit the ground, because that is a law, a universal law, the law of gravity. Another law of the universe is wherever thought goes. Whatever you focus your attention on constantly, and especially if you apply emotion to it, then you're really, sustaining that. You're going to bring in that as your experience. With prosperity, remember, it is the idea of being successful. Well, do the things that are going to not only attract money to you. Money's a wonderful thing, all right? It's a wonderful thing to have. I'd rather have it than not have it. However, that's not, as I said, I'm from LA. I was in the Central City area, and a lot of my students were very wealthy people. They worked in the industry, and not all of them were really happy. They were able to accumulate material things, but they were not happy. They weren't happy in their lives. They weren't happy in their relationships. They weren't happy with their children. They weren't happy with the work, but they had nice homes and nice cars and so forth, but they were not happy. So that's important. Find out what brings joy, what helps you to stay in joy. Okay. And then with that also, yes, I see Michael wants to share something. Yeah.
I wanted to just make a statement here before we keep moving here. Ladies and gentlemen, number one, prosperity. Are you loved? Do you love yourself? Okay, that's huge. Okay, because if you're loved,
Right.
if you love yourself, number one, then you have some joy.
Mhm.
You have some peace because you're in that state. Now, the one, two, three things she said with those three states, three levels, there's still love there. There's
Mhm.
love in all those situations. Number two, you have a roof over your head? Okay. Did you get out of a bed this morning? What? All right. Did you have some food? All right. It comes down to the basic things with us in the United States. Ladies and gentlemen, and most of our audience here is in the United States. If you have those three things, love, a roof over your head, and food, you are rich in compared to 90% of the people who are on this earth. Yeah, even if you're homeless. Now, I'm assuming almost nobody's going to be listening to shows homeless because you have to be on a computer or you have to have a cell phone and everything like that. So that means that you have a computer, you have a phone. We are blessed more than literally any country that's on the face of this earth. And so, yes, do we have issues? Oh, yes, got a lot of stuff that we're dealing with. But at the end of the day, okay, I just heard in Canada, ladies and gentlemen, that a head of cauliflower cost almost $9.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Whoa.
Okay. Now I was complaining because it was $3.50 in Walmart. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. A a dozen of eggs cost $9 now in a lot of places. Now where
Wow.
okay.
Wow.
So
Wow.
now how do you keep prosperity? Well, go find the sales. Okay.
Yeah.
Prosperity is also spiritual. And um,
Excuse me, I'm
again,
making sure I'm plugged in. Sorry about
I hear you. Uh,
that.
so
Yeah.
the smell of this essential oil, and that's where I know the wisdom of Het-Heru is not just coming from her brain, but she has it with these essential oils.
I guess we're okay.
And so you create tools to keep prosperity within yourself,
Mhm.
living day to day, living,
Mhm.
grabbing each day and doing your affirmations. Mine is, we heard Heather Roots. Mine is, wow, I woke up.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I'm alive. Okay. Well, that's cool. Okay. I got a roof over my head. I just slept in a good bed. Now I'm going to
Yeah.
make it up and keep on moving. You figure out what it is for you that makes you get up in the morning. And the weird thing to start with is affirmations. I just wanted to round that out here.
Yeah, I think that's good. Even when you're having challenges, and we all do, that's life. Even when you're having challenges, whether they're physical or financial or relationship wise, you still affirm what it is you want to have because this is principle. This is the law of attraction. Again, if you're focused on what you don't have, and you give your energy for wherever thought goes, energy follows. If you're giving your energy to that, you're going to continue to maintain that experience in your life. But transform your thoughts. Be you renewed by the uh, changing of your mind is basically something like that. I told you I'm not a Bible scholar, but there's certain things that I remember. And not only watch your thinking, but watch your speaking because they work hand in hand. And watch your feelings too. If you're having some type of issue with someone, I'll tell you, I'm generally uplift, in a good feeling way. And in the
What's
past
better
few
to
days,
see?
I've been feeling a little off, and so I wasn't sure what that was. Part of the reasons I realized that we celebrate this period is because it's a dark time. Dark. The days get darker quicker. The energy is darker. It's colder. And so great. Thankfully, we have parties to go to, or some type of socializing, or we're spending more time with family, or whatever it is we're doing. My birthday, as I attempt to let the whole world know, is New Year's Day. Last year, or this past birthday, I did something I hadn't done before. I had seen an ad on TV saying that the most needed thing for the homeless were socks. So my friends, whom I love and adore, I asked them. I said, instead of buying me gifts this year, how about donating socks to the homeless? And they did that. I had bags, shopping bag full of socks to take to the mission here in Las Vegas. And that felt really good because rather than to see them as someone that was lacking, I thought of someone that was so abundant. There was so much abundance in my life and in my friends' lives that we could give to others. And I'm not a fan of, and to each his own. The fundraisers that they post on Facebook, they say for so and so's birthday, please donate money. I'm not a fan of that, but do what works for you. But I like this, and so what I've learned as well is that not only are socks needed, but they're especially needed for men because generally when people donate, they give to women, they give to children. That they need that men's socks as well as men's underwear. So if you are looking for another way, a possible way to give in the spirit of Thanksgiving and in the consciousness of prosperity, understanding that you are a prosperous being because you're giving to your fellow man, your brother, your sister. You're giving because you recognize that there is prosperity, not lack. There is prosperity.
Now we're here coming in, we both have been through a million holiday seasons here on the 25th of December. So, however, anybody feels about it, some people feel it's the holiday, some feel that it's Christmas. There's, I think, is it Hanukkah or something that's here also. But no
And
matter
Kwanzaa.
what, I'm sorry, is it Kwanzaa?
And Kwanzaa is the 26th. It begins the
Okay,
26th.
thank you for correcting. Okay, so, but no matter what, during this holiday time, a lot of people are really going through it. And, they don't have the money to buy somebody something, or they're in their own. Well, the world is just totally different. We're in this cycle, like you said. So, um, just some words for people that don't feel like they have much. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and then what you really have, but it is a hard time for a lot of people this year. We're very blessed. I know I am. To, but I for all those people that are, because there are a lot of people depressed during this holiday time. How do they find prosperity?
Well, it's like you said, Michael, we're not here in a country where we're having bombs thrown at us and some of the other thing, our power going out, and et cetera, et cetera. We're not dealing with the COVID situation the way we were, although they're, saying it's coming back, but, wherever thought goes, energy follows. But for the most part, we're in a better situation than we were this time last year and the year before. Mantra. Use the power of mantra. Every day, in every way, I am getting better, better, and better. Even when you start feeling, you stop it and you affirm something positive, something every day in every way. I am experiencing prosperity. I'm experiencing love. I am a loving, sacred being. Reverend Ike used to tell us that there is healing and blessing even in a smile, and that's oh so true. Wherever I go now, I've learned the power and the blessing of smiling, just looking at someone and giving them a smile. And I can see their demeanor just change in a second. And as I was saying a few minutes ago, don't think so much about what you don't have. Think about what you do have. Go to the 99-cent store and buy a bottle of water or buy socks, whatever, to give to somebody else. I used to have issues with giving to people who were on the street and were asking. And, can you spare a dollar or whatever? I had issues with that. And Della Reese, I was
I think we're having a little bit. Can't hear you. Well, she's fixing that. I used to have an issue with with people on the street too. Now I don't have it. if I have it, a lot of people don't carry cash around anymore. And so, it's just, I always make sure I have $1 here. Can we, I think you've got your mic isn't connected. Somehow it went unconnected. You don't have your microphone on. So as we, now with so many people that have, just have had issues, I just don't. If I got it, I'm going to reach out to it. I feel that that's more of a connection than it ever used to be. It says here that your mic isn't connected. Let me see. So anyway, for all those going in through through these holidays, it is a tough time. I'm not going to deny that it's not, and for our own sake here, we have to be together, ladies and gentlemen. We're all divided in some way, and in that division, we have to find that middle ground. You see, there's 3 levels. There's who you think you are. There's that level of in being the mid where you are, where we're on the earth, your planet here on the earth, and so we all have to figure out a way to get along, and that's the most important thing that we can share with you. So I think we're going to have some we're still having technical difficulties. I can't hear Het-Heru, so we're going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and end this on here. Let's Het-Heru. Do you? Is your mute button on? That's all right. That's all right. There you are. There you are. There you are.
It was needed a break from what I was saying for a minute there, huh?
Yeah, just
can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear you.
Okay.
Now. So
Alrighty.
listen, we're closing out here. So I want to make sure you get your final thoughts as we go here over the next week. We'll be back next week. Next Wednesday. We're gonna do it next Wednesday again.
Okay. Alrighty.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna leave you final thoughts. Okay.
Mm-hmm. As Michael was saying, you can go on my website, Het-Heru.com, and you'll see that prosperity oil is at a reduced price. It also gives you a little more information. It's based on visual. 23 karat gold's inside to help you to think in a prosperous way. But the power of the olfactory nerve connected to the sense of memory, because no matter what you're experiencing, the truth is you are a sacred, prosperous being.
And we're going to keep that prosperity up. We're sorry about the technical difficulties. When you go live, ladies and gentlemen, and you don't have a big time producer, doing your break, but we're here to always bring out the love to you. And prosperity is absolutely what we all should have and seek.
Yeah.
And this smell here, again, smell is a triggering thing that goes into the mind. And I know I've been using her essential oils for 15 years. I'm planning on using them for another. So thank you, Het-Heru, for
pleasure.
And we'll see you. We'll see you on the next one. Okay. So prosperity. I know that a lot of us are just would like to have more money. Would like to have a better car. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I've been driving the same truck for 17 years. And I want to have people say, you're going to get buried in that truck? I'm going, yeah, you know what? Because I have prosperity with my truck because I haven't made a car payment in 15 years. So, the whole thing is find your prosperity. It starts in the mind. It ends in the heart. Okay. And from there is where action comes, then reaction. Thank you so much for being here. We'll see you on the next broadcast.